On Thursday, two separate fires broke out in Portland, both caused by rechargeable lithium-ion batteries. At the end of it, Portland Fire and Rescue says nearly a dozen people were displaced. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm John Adams. Today, our Celine Stevens spoke with one family who was displaced after one of those fires caused them to lose everything. Celine?
John, right. So that fire in southeast Portland sparked just before midnight Thursday, displacing 8 people, including 2 teenagers. According to the father of those kids, it all happened due to an electric scooter which contained one of those lithium-ion batteries. It caught fire, destroyed their home and the unit next to it.
I just kept slipping and falling just because of the panic. I wasn't totally awake. I thought it was a dream, and it was devastating.
Joshua Hegel and his family lost almost everything but each other due to a fire that started just before midnight on September 12th. Hegel says he was asleep when his brother-in-law, who was spending the night, woke him up, warning him of the fire.
That scooter was what was on blaze, and there was 2 propane tanks behind it, and that's why I jumped so quick to start putting it out. They could have combusted at any time.
Hegel also had his 2 teenagers in the home, as well as his girlfriend and a dog, who are all physically okay. So this is where Hegel says the fire started, with this electric scooter powered by a lithium battery. He says it hasn't been charged in months, yet somehow caught fire, leading to a blaze that spread over this entire backyard and then went all the way up to the attic.
It's overwhelming to even be in this apartment after all of this. It's hard.
The fire also spread to the neighbor's unit, which happens to also be the home of Hegel's brother-in-law's family. Now, 8 people at the complex are without a permanent place to stay.
Financially, we're not able to help with large amounts of money to get them back on their feet and get them the shelter and the clothing and everything that they need.
Hegel's sister, Crystal Forrest, started a GoFundMe to try and get help. They both say whatever anyone can give helps, including things like clothes, bedding, and food.
The biggest reason I did it was because seeing my niece and my nephew's face. If you could only imagine their face and, just feeling hopeless.
Hegel says financially things were already hard and they did not have renter's insurance.
Pretty much all of my son's clothes got destroyed. I've been wearing these since the fires happened because I don't have nothing.
According to Portland Fire and Rescue, lithium-ion batteries can be found in a lot of electronics. However, one big risk with them is thermal runaway. This is when the battery cell uncontrollably self-heats, leading to extremely high temperatures, eventually resulting in smoke and fire. Even more startling, Hegel's brother dealt with a fire in his apartment years back, reportedly caused by an electric scooter as well. Luckily, his damage wasn't as severe.
We're struggling, finding it hard to sleep. I would tell anybody that wants an electric scooter, really do your research. These electric scooters, the batteries in them, they're just, in my opinion, not safe.
Hegel says while the landlord is not finding them and returned their security deposit and this month's rent, they also gave them a 10-day notice to vacate. Portland Fire and Rescue says that this was the second lithium-ion battery fire of that day, and they also responded to a similar situation at least 2 other times this year. John, back to you.
All right, Celine, thank you. New at 11, police in North Portland are searching for the suspect or suspects of a shooting. Officers were called to North Clarendon Avenue near Columbia Boulevard around 7:20 tonight. That's where they found the victim, who was taken to the hospital. Their condition is unknown. A man was killed by police early this morning following an armed standoff in Lynn County. It happened just before 12:45 on the Shamanic Bridge near the town of Scio. Deputies were responding to a report of a pedestrian struck by a vehicle. When they got there, they found the driver armed just off of Richardson Gap Road. The Lynn County Sheriff's Office says he ignored commands and fired his weapon. They said because of his actions, he was shot and killed when a SWAT team was sent in. The Oregon State Police is now investigating. The pedestrian received only a minor injury. Further north in Marion County, Staten police arrested a man Friday on murder charges. Officers were called to an assault just before 4:30 in the afternoon in the area of West Locust near Heritage Loop. There they found the body of 55-year-old Curtis Longfellow. They later identified and arrested the suspect, 30-year-old Skylar Gindar. He is being charged with second-degree murder and unlawful use of a weapon. In Gresham, the police department is investigating a deadly crash from just before midnight last night. A Gresham detective told us a car left the road near Northeast Division in Kane Drive and hit a tree. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators believe speed was a factor. And an update to a crash in North Portland that shut down a major road for several hours. Police now say a driver was booked on DUII charges, among others, after hitting a pedestrian at 17th and Concord Avenue. PPB also says before getting hit, the pedestrian was suffering from a mental health crisis, jumping in front of multiple cars. They remain in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Well, it's been almost 48 hours since more than 30,000 Boeing machinists walked off the job. Union members want a 40% pay increase. The tentative agreement between Boeing and the union stood at 25%. The last strike in 2008 lasted 57 days and cost Boeing an estimated $2 billion. After a year of financial troubles, there is pressure on new Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg to get a deal done as soon as possible.
He came in at almost an impossible time. But if this strike is resolved quickly, that would go to his credit to resolving it quickly. And Boeing actually could conceivably come out of this with a reset with labor relations and come out of it in a positive way.
As of now, there is no timeline for both sides to go back to the bargaining table. Well, it sure didn't feel like a late summer Saturday night with those heavy downpours we saw earlier this evening. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is joining us now to let us know if we can expect even more showers heading into Sunday. Joe, how much rain did we see earlier?
Kind of an incredible amount. Outside our studios, more than a half of an inch of rain fell over a 2-hour period, basically from 6 to about 8 o'clock tonight. You go more inland, or I should go more into the east side, you just saw about 5/100ths of an inch of rain. So it was definitely scattered showers, but heavy, with some of those showers producing some lightning strikes earlier tonight. Now those thunderstorms and really just kind of leftover showers are pushing over into the foothills of the Oregon Cascades. With that said, we could still see some light showers overnight and into tomorrow morning. So don't expect to see much in terms of a rainfall accumulation. Mostly sunny by tomorrow afternoon, and the last week of summer below average temperatures. And if you're wondering when does fall start, well, it officially starts next Sunday, early Sunday morning. Rainfall chances here in the Portland area were dry as a bone heading into the early morning hours, but between 5 and 6, we could start to see some of those showers increase at times, and we're pretty much dry heading into the late morning, early part of the afternoon. But 6/100ths of an inch of rain fell at the Portland International Airport. A lot of locations on the west side and you're along Highway 26. Yeah, I saw close to a half to 6/10ths of an inch of rain. I'll talk more about your detailed forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll see you later in the show. Well, a local nonprofit is asking for the community support after an early morning building fire. Free Geek near Ladd's Addition says around 2, a fire started outside the receiving and recycling area. While no one was hurt, their donation center was damaged. Free Geek says they're closing until repairs can be made. In the meantime, they're looking to raise $25,000 in part to pay staff and replace equipment. We'll have more details on our website, kgw.com. Well, let's head to the gridiron now. Oregon and Oregon State are squaring off for the 128th time in the rivalry game. Both teams 2-0 going into the contest. And it's the first time it's been a non-conference game since all the way back in 1963. Art Edwards is joining us now with a look at what happened. Hey, Art.
Hey there. You know what? A lot of questions going into this one today. Could the Oregon offensive line hold up? And could the Oregon State offense run the ball? And could the defense keep Oregon under control? Well, the Beavers did control the ball early in the first half. They tied the game early on and only trailed by a single score at the half. So it was looking good for the Beavers at that point. But the second half, it was all Oregon. Dylan Gabriel was sensational today. He had a long touchdown run, 54 yards on the run. He also threw for 291 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Oregon rolled up 546 yards in total offense on the game. They never punted the ball all game long. After 2 weeks of some not so impressive football, the Ducks certainly rebounded. They win the ball game 49-14. That broke a 2-game win streak that Oregon State had at Reser Stadium. Orlando Sanchez was in Corvallis today. He's going to have a complete wrap of the game, including reaction from players and coaches. That's coming up a little later on in sports.
All right, Art, thank you.